place, we are thrilled to be launching our partnership with Cynergy Bank. So I thought today would be a really fantastic opportunity for you to tell us more about the bank and your passion for family businesses and how together we can help them moving forward. So why don't you introduce yourself and your role at the bank?
So I'm one of the two frontline MDs, managing directors, leading the sales teams and relationships teams of the bank. I've joined the bank 1.5 years ago, and I joined the bank around the time the bank was being bought over by a group of family business owners who have bought this bank from Bank of Cyprus and has been rebranded as Synergy Bank. And I thought it was an amazing opportunity to be part of this journey to transform the bank and play a role in its evolution as it goes from being a subsidiary of Bank of Cyprus in the UK to a mainstream challenger UK banking institution. So that was the reason for me being here, and that's who we are. Family businesses have been pretty much centerpiece to our strategy, even when we were Bank of Cyprus. So most of our customers, and when I say customers, I would say lending customers. So we have two types of customers. We have a lot of depositors who invest money with the bank, but then also a lot of our lending customers, in one form or the other, tend to be family business owners, whether they are property entrepreneurs or whether they are people who have trading businesses, who have specialization in healthcare, hospitality. Those are two sectors we've really focused on in terms of commercial banking. But then in terms of property business owners and high net worth customers, we've already always had them with Synergy Bank. And we're just in the process of taking our strategy forward. Obviously, COVID-19 has taken everybody off guard. So it's at this time it's also being focused on supporting our customers, being agile, being able to give them support, but also being quick in terms of decision making. But yeah, all in all, I'm still very positive about family businesses. I think they are a cornerstone of the UK economy, and we're really excited to be in this sector.
Amazing. And over the last couple of months, how have you seen your family business clients adapt, try and survive, maybe even thrive through this?
I think, like most businesses, COVID-19 was totally unexpected, and you've seen through the cycle a vast array of emotions with customers. Initially, it was a bit like was a little bit of panic,
Yeah.
like I don't know what's happening. My sales have fallen. I'm not allowed to do any business. The government shut everything down. We have to respect people's health, but what does that do for my business? How can the bank assist me? There were a lot of these questions coming in initially. The banks, including ourselves, we were trying to prepare ourselves, but also get our thinking right in terms of how can we be a supportive lender, but at the same time, a responsible lender, because we are lending out depositors' money. So it is in such a crucial environment. It's quite a tight balancing act where you want to support customers, but you at the same time don't want people to overstretch, and you want to make sure customers have got some solid plans backing themselves, which will see them out of the pandemic. What we've seen over the last 4 months is a state of calm coming back. Some people now looking at opportunity, the coronavirus business interruption scheme, the bounce back schemes, some of those incentive and schemes from the government have been quite critical in helping banks support their customers. So I think that has really helped. We are an accredited lender ourselves, and through this period, we've seen how civils has significantly helped customers, not only if they're in financial trouble, but also for going and identifying opportunities and doing new business.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it takes the lender and the customer that little bit of comfort which the government guarantee provides. Although it's not 100% guarantee, it's 80%. but it still gives you that comfort to be able to say, yeah, this could be a bankable proposition, and we could see this working out in the favor of the customer. But you probably would have lesser appetite if you were doing it on a standalone basis, given COVID-19 and all the uncertainties around it. So it's been an interesting time, quite a challenging time, but I would say an interesting time, and hopefully getting better as we come out of this.
Fantastic. And so why do you think Cynergy Bank in particular is so popular with family businesses? What makes you such a great bank to work with?
I think you've seen in the industry this boom, uh, like with everything, as the market evolves. Historically, you had the top five banking institutions in the UK who dominated the banking sector. If you compare that to the US, top five banks in the US have about roughly 50% market share, and the balance 50% is challenger banks, community banks, things like that. So I think one, it is also a more a case of the UK market maturing and going to the next level. And I think having the right amount of competition in the market is always going to be good for customers.
Yeah.
In terms of differentiation, I think, like most ambitious challenger banks, we are trying to create new proposition, differentiated propositions with the customer at center. We are a big believer in technology, so we want to use technology to enable better customer relationships, always having the human interaction.
Yeah.
So I think you've got the banking market is still making up its mind on what's the absolutely right model to serve customers. So you have the traditional one-on-one human interaction, bank manager speaks to the customer. That model, while it's okay for a one-on-one interaction, it's not scalable for a small institution. And on the other hand, you have this emergence of the neo banks, where it's a bit like top the app, and you don't know who's behind the app.
Yeah.
And we're trying to take a position somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
And that position being, we want to be digitally enabled, but we also want to not lose, but actually enhance our personal relationships with customers. So I think differentiated propositions, an ambitious mindset, uh, customer being at the center, and empowering ourselves, but also our customers through the digital transformation that is happening now. This conversation is happening digitally, and a lot of things will change and are changing, that I believe will give opportunities to new entrants, because it's just going to be a question of who can embrace these changes as effectively and efficiently for the benefit of their customers.
Brilliant.
And we hope we are one of those.
Absolutely. And so sort of in your time at the bank, you must have seen some amazing, wins and success stories for family businesses who are thriving and sort of taking the world by storm. And so what do you love about family businesses in particular?
I think what I love, having done many roles across my career, I've had the amazing opportunity to be involved with family businesses, large multinationals, uh, retail customers. And I think what sets family businesses apart is that they provide you as an institution, but also as a banker, the opportunity to have quite a wide dialogue.
Mm.
So at the one time, you have the one-to-one relationship with the family, which is quite important to the family, but then also to the institution. But at the same time, you have their ambitious plans where they will be going and making these big plans to grow their business. They have challenges around next generation. How does the next generation come into the fold? And that ability to play that trusted advisor role, where you have various amounts of complex opportunities and problems, and helping your customers navigate that is extremely challenging, but also rewarding. And I think that's what sets family businesses apart. If you look at a big, large multinational, um and they have their own space, but we're clearly not in that space, and we that's not our strategy. Our strategy really is in the whole scale up type of businesses, and these business and helping businesses get to a stage where they're actually going through and pushing the boundaries and creating wealth and opportunity for their family, but then also their business and their employees. So I think that's what sets the family businesses apart, because they give you a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you never lose the personal touch, which is something I really like.
Completely. So as a sort of trusted advisor, you're in a very unique position to be able to look at a family business from the outside and a sort of fresh perspective. And family businesses are often guilty of not taking on outside advice, being quite insular, of just passing it down through the family. So as a trusted advisor to lots of family businesses, particularly at the moment during this pandemic, are there some sort of nuggets of advice you can give to any family business out there who's thinking, I'm struggling, or I don't know if I can do this, or I feel like we've got an opportunity, but I don't quite know where to go next? Are there a couple of things that you think family businesses can do today, in your opinion, to build a stronger business for the future?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think, especially in this environment, I think embracing change and embracing technology is really important. I think, as you said, sometimes family businesses can be guilty of just sticking to their knitting, which would be my second thing to say. Like, don't try and do many things. Competence and specialization is important in this world. But sometimes what happens is there's a reluctance to change and saying, well, this is how we've done it.
Yeah.
But what's happening with COVID-19 is all of that is up in the air. Working from home is a new emerging trend. It's going to enrich the lives of employees tremendously, but then also you're seeing from working from home, a lot of efficiencies have actually gone up, not gone down.
Yeah.
So you see that happening, and I think it's about embracing the digital tide that is coming in our direction, and a lot of these digital plans which were to be implemented in 3-4 years, businesses are now doing them in 1 year.
Yeah.
Right? And so all of that is getting fast tracked. So I think if you're not a participant in that big change, you don't have to be a leader in that change, but if you're not aware and you are sort of left behind, I think you will be at a considerable disadvantage. So I think one of the big themes out of COVID-19, in my view, is this digital transformation that's happening around our lives. So I think my advice would be to embrace that. And second, I would say still stick to your knitting. And use digital to differentiate, but having that core competence, having that, not losing sight of what made you successful in the first place, your customers, your products, your services, your employees, using that, but now in a more agile, sort of nimble environment, I think will be quite important.
Absolutely. Yeah, brilliant advice, because I think it's so easy to suddenly jump on the bandwagon of something new and to leave what you've done all those generations, what you've been so fantastic
That's
at.
a lot of knowledge.
People panic. Actually, what family businesses have got is they have got years and years of experience, years and years of passing things down through the generations. It's important to remember to stick with that, because that's why people love you at the end of the day. That's why you've built a reputation.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And that's so important. I mean, your personal brand, your personal reputation is important, but I think also you've got to be seen as a progressive brand. See, so you've got to be somebody who can embrace these changes, because some of these are quite material, like the hotel industry or restaurants. They will not cease to exist, but the question is, will they exist the way they existed a year ago? Probably not. Probably a different way.
Absolutely.
Booking a lunch or dinner may become totally different 6 months from now. We don't know.
Absolutely. Okay. Finally, then, Ravi, before we go, what are you particularly excited about for the UK's family business sector in the sort of months and years ahead?
I think what I'm really excited about is being part of the recovery that will now take place. So I'm really looking forward to the UK family business sector recover from COVID-19, and get back to uh, where they were, because it's so important for not just the family businesses that have been built over so many years and generations, but then also the employees who work in these businesses and depend on them for their livelihood. So I think there's an immense opportunity, and I'm quite confident that the family businesses will support the government and a lot of these schemes that have been put in place, and the banks have our role, and we're trying to do our role in this recovery to make sure these businesses get back to where they were. And as a result of that, it continues to create value for UK Incorporated, let's call it, but then also for the employees who really depend on these businesses for their livelihood and their families. So I think that's what's keeping me really excited for the next 12 months.
Brilliant. And we are absolutely thrilled to be working in partnership with you and the guys at Cynergy Bank to help family businesses get to where they need to be, so that we, can survive for another generation and generation beyond that. So we're delighted to be working with you.
Same here. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time, Ravi.
Cheers.